Hello, hope you're enjoying your full moon. We will have a little card reading. And as I'm shuffling, I'm going to tell you about something, which is that I am going to be moving this stuff somewhere else. This channel is one that I use to deliver my astrology readings on. And so I'm going to move the card readings somewhere else. Let me know if you want the link to that. Okay, so right away there's there is an avoidance of something that you should be leaving behind. There's also a choice being made to override a difficult emotional experience that may feel a little bit like this. That being said, this is not a fate thing, right? So you have the opportunity here, you have the choice to accept what it is you're walking away from. There's a common misconception in our culture that if we've spent a lot of time doing something and then we choose to move in a different direction, that we lost all of that time. But that's not true. So it might be feeling like you're leaving something behind, or you're being asked to leave something behind that's just a little bit too difficult for you, but you can do it. You can take everything you need with you. What you're leaving behind might have meant something, significant to you for a really long time. And all of that experience is still with you. All of the lessons you learned, all of the traits that you cultivated throughout that experience, they're all still there for you to take what you need moving forward. But there is an opportunity to consciously choose now to move forward with what supports you, rather than what you feel bound to because of duty or obligation. And I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, this stuff is hard. It's not easy. It is simple, but that doesn't make it easy. There is a desire to move quickly into the right direction. But at this time, the quickness is not being called for. In fact, the rush is going to cause you to move backwards. And so, this concept of slowing down in a way that's actually generative to you, it can seem a little paradoxical, because it does not mean do nothing. It does not mean avoid what's in front of you and avoid the actions that are yours to do. For some people, this is going to be do less, but do it better or more deeply or in a more connective or generative way. And for some people, this is going to mean do something. Finally finishing one of your projects, or reaching out to that person you're supposed to been reaching out to. It's going to mean picking something up instead of telling yourself, I need to rest, I need to take it slow. This is really going to depend on the circumstance. So you'll have to consult yourself as far as what side of the coin you land on there. But either way, it's going to be difficult emotionally, and you're going to be leaving something, some situations, some ideas, some identity behind. Let me get a little bit more information on what we're leaving behind, please. Okay. All right. Here we go. Preparation and loyalty. All right. The squirrel and the chestnut. You are never going to feel fully ready to do the thing that is calling to you. And so, you know, do whatever you want, right? Like, the agency is yours. If you're giving any of your power away to me right now, I just want to hand that back to you. You get to decide. But ultimately, if you're waiting to feel ready to do the next thing, you are never going to feel ready to do it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is sometimes feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It's a practice. Loyalty. You might think that you've broken free of all the chains, but there's usually more to discover, especially if we're living in modernity. There are chains, and sometimes we are loyal to structures that do not support us. More often than not, we are. This is not asking you for perfection, but you are being asked to turn your attention toward ways that you may be binding yourself to ways of living that are not serving you. And this is hard, y'all, leaving things behind that we have felt necessary for our safety, security, stability. They might be things that your family, friends, even your close inner circle thinks are just facts of life or systems that we have to participate in. You know, you may have relationships with family that you need to pull back on in some way. You may be experiencing not being nourished by the food that you're buying in the grocery store. And you may not be able to avoid the need to make another decision. You know, there's so many ways that this could go. So really sitting with this, what are you remaining loyal to that is against your thriving, that is against the greater good of the web of life, of which you are included and you are an integral part? Just like the idea that what we do to others, we do to ourselves. What we do to ourselves, we do to others. By keeping yourself bound to a structure or an idea that's not good for you, you're participating in the energy of keeping others in that structure as well, because it's a normalization. Anyway, I hope that didn't sound too harsh. I just want to be honest with what's coming through in the cards. I know that you've probably been moving through a lot of realizations lately. The full moon is in Sagittarius, which is the quest for the truth or the search for meaning. And there are themes of higher mind and spirituality, philosophy, big ideas, things like this. Gemini is the details. Sagittarius is the big picture. The polarity of Gemini is what we're talking about here. And so a really powerful energy. A lot of Sagittarius people are world travelers if they have the means to do that. They might read a lot of books or be always learning. And if you're looking for meaning, it's going to be harder and harder to find unless you're embodied and you're immersed in your own experience. You're not going to find meaning online. You're not going to find meaning on social media. Compassion, Rose. Trigger statement, I am unlovable. True statement, I am love. Your heart is healing and expanding with love. Spend time showering yourself with that love and then share with others. So, it can be hard when you're experiencing this middle place where your cup is not empty and you're learning how to walk with a cup that has something in it. Where before, maybe you were used to running around because the cup was empty, so you weren't at risk of spilling anything. And now you're sort of having to be a little bit more careful with the way that you walk because there is that risk of spilling needlessly in places that cannot receive. So take the time to give to yourself, because you're learning how to work with this energy right now. Many of us are. Give yourself some grace for not, the expectation that we immediately are able to have the control over our thoughts or our words or even our actions. It's unreasonable. We have this culture of immediate gratification. That's fake news. Y'all already know that. Arise, enlightening. Trigger statement, there has to be more than this. True statement, I create my world. You are ready for a higher level of awareness and transformation. Yeah, this is very Sagittarius. You get to choose. And this idea about creating your reality, it doesn't mean spiritually bypass what you see in your reality and just gaslight yourself into believing that everything is hunky-dory. It means take an active role in world crafting, in world building, in connecting, and building that web of relation back. We've strayed far, 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 far. Be a part of the repairing. You can make that choice. No, it will not be easy. It will be worth it. We might not see the fruits of this in our lifetime, right? A lot of y'all are well aware because you're in the work, you're doing it. But what is meaningful for you? What kind of a life would be meaningful for you? A lot of you are well on your way to crafting that life consciously, bringing people together, getting your hands in the soil, whatever it is. I create my world. This is not gaslighting yourself. This is participating in the co-creation, and the cosmos invites you to participate actively. All right, opportunity, here we go. Green Mandarin, trigger statement, I doubt it. True statement, there is hope. With fresh eyes, see the potential within this situation. Don't be afraid to be a beginner. That is our saving grace, honestly, is seeing the opportunities for new beginnings and allowing ourselves to take part in new beginnings. This world that we're building, it's not about punishment. The world that we're coming from is carceral, punitive, it's tit for tat, it's poison and destruction and extraction over life. So, as you give more grace to yourself, you'll be able to give more grace to others, and it just builds. Ask for, if you're having trouble with the hope, with the fresh eyes, participation really is the key. I think that if you try something new, create a piece of art today and actually do it. If you've been meaning to journal or get back to journaling, do it. Create something today. Spend time making something of your own and don't share it with anyone. Be inspired by what ideas come up. Allow yourself to be in that energy. Transmutation, trigger statement, I don't know who I am. True statement, I am. There is no efforting required for this shift. Be present and allow every aspect of your being to transform. Yeah, so as you're going about your day, what feels right to you? What feels wrong? Allow yourself to move with those flows. You're like, hey, I don't feel like doing this. Move with it. Try it just for a day. See how that informs your movements thereafter. Is it going to get you in trouble? Maybe. But also realize that for the most part, people don't care what you do. Everyone has so much going on. And people are really looking for permission to be themselves and live a freer life right now. Maybe you can be part of that inspiration. In a lot of ways, I think you already are. I don't think you would be getting this message if you weren't. Okay, well, I'll do one more card. Happy full moon again. Hope you're taking all the time that you need. Gemini season is really fast moving, lots of information in the air. Please don't feel bad if you can't catch it all. A little bit ago, we had Uranus and Mercury and Gemini conjunct each other, and that is just a lot. So way too much information. Look at this. Okay, so here's what I'll say about this. You're being invited into new ways of looking at wealth. What is wealth to you? What do you value? And what ideas do you have about wealth that actually may be creating more strain on yourself and making you less wealthy? For example, hoarding is generally not conducive to good health or abundant energy. And by hoarding, I don't just mean hoarding items, I also mean hoarding money. Cat's claw, purification. This is a very heavy energy, to be honest with you. We have the black jaguar. Generally, there's going to be some kind of death and rebirth. This is Pluto up here, which also signifies that. So something is definitely trying to be noticed to leave your field. But this is something that you have to let go of. It did come out in reverse. So we'll read the book on this and we'll look a little bit more into it. But yeah, this is something that you have to make the choice to let go of. Mars is action, Pluto is death and transformation. And then look at this, calendula purity. So we have some overlapping themes here. This is like the sun, the child, the fool. This is new beginnings. And then on the top of the deck here, we have ayahuasca, which is death and rebirth again. Aya, from my understanding, means death. So this is really seeing into the future. Are you becoming the ancestor that you would want to be? How are you in relation to not just your ancestors 7 generations back, but your future ancestors 7 generations in the future? Are you being a good steward of life? This is Pluto, Jupiter, and Neptune. Really huge stuff. All right, let's check out Cat's Claw to get a little bit more information. Reversed is feeling displaced, disconnection from heritage, dark behaviors, wounding, shame, regret, rejection, and loneliness. So there's a lot of this going on right now, you guys. It's in the air. There's a lot of returning to past, bad behaviors. Give yourself so much grace. How would you, if your friend came to you, if your daughter came to you, if your mom came to you and said that they were struggling with some, bad behaviors, you wouldn't shoo them out, right? Cat's claw powerfully protects our sacred essence, our blood, and our DNA. Like the Black Panther, it is regarded as one of the mighty protectors of the sacred ways of the forest. Cat's claw is here today to help remove blockages, wounding, or trauma. Energetically, Cat's claw clears ancestral trauma, deeply assisting our healing as we rewrite our story. Like the energy of Black Panther, it roams through darkness with courage and curiosity to assist us in accessing the hidden light of truth. This is a reminder to take this time to befriend the silence of the dark void. Channel the gifts that your ancestors have provided, and know that your path is loved and supported by life. Here it's talking about being an immune stimulant, inflammatory diseases, rebalancing body through purification and renewal. So if you've been having, stuff like maybe eating badly, putting things in your body that you shouldn't, taking part in other behaviors that are toxic to you, again, please give yourself some grace for that. We're going to end with the message from ayahuasca. And by the way, this does not in any way, shape, or form mean go take ayahuasca. I just want to put that out there. You are mastering the power of awareness when aligning to a higher power. Ayahuasca's spirit is here to support your ascension, drawing on ancient wisdom embedded in your DNA and the earth. Allow yourself to be shattered as you travel through the cosmic womb. And I really, shattered, okay? This does not mean... This does not mean that the hard parts are fully behind you and you have no more work to do and you are ascending into the 5D, okay? This is signifying shadow work ahead. Ayahuasca catalyzes purification through the cathartic release of the known, only to reveal undiscovered terrain within your soul. You are one with the magnetic brilliance of Source, the intelligence that orchestrates the great mystery. Feeling lost in the labyrinth only comes when a loss of intentionality or respect happens. Offer your greatest intentions, sacrifice your needs, enter into the void without expectation, and allow yourself to be consumed by the oceanic consciousness. Remember, dear one, that to heal the world, you must heal yourself. You are the source of love. Okay. A couple of things here. So this seems to be pretty foundational. We're redefining wealth again. You've probably already done a lot of work on this. The work is to be continued. There's a lot of themes about the void and purification here, particularly here in the middle. This is the void. This is coming out the other side. Okay. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but, be in that void. Do not be distracting yourself. If you need help with something, call in support, whether that is from, your ancestors, the earth, spirits, friends, call a friend, journal, be there for yourself. However you can hold this container for yourself, make sure it happens. Do not avoid it. That is my advice. You are able to do whatever you want and the power is yours. Purity. I do want to say something about that before we head out, because in our culture we have a lot of really nasty ideas about purity. They are filled with guilt and shame for the most part. And a lot of it is super colonization adjacent. These ideas about purity. Ultimately, you get to decide. You get to decide what feels good in your body, in your system, in your aura, in your energy. That is all up to you. And so what feels pure in your system is your choice, and no one can make that for you. But, you and I both know that there's things that are just not working for us anymore. And I'm not exempt from any of this, by the way. This is all stuff that I'm experiencing with you. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy your full moon. Get on that journaling if you are so called. and maybe light a candle at your altar. Don't forget to call in this support if this is something that you would benefit from. Let me know if you want a link to where I'm putting these readings next, and I'll see you soon.